So I'm buying physical silver and I'm buying silver on the stock market as well. So this video is not sponsored and I just want to share with you what I'm doing and why. Now in today's video, I'm going to be covering why I'm investing in silver, how much that I believe it's going to go up, and my exit strategy. So when I plan to sell and what I'm going to do with the money. So before we move any further, you must know that when it comes to investing, I believe in diversification. So silver is just one of a variety of assets that I'm accumulating. But honestly, I've said this before, that silver is one of my favorites. So here are the key reasons why I'm investing in silver. It's because the demand for silver is greater than its supply. When it comes to inflation, silver protects you from inflation. Silver has a proven history, and at this point, I still believe that silver is undervalued. So if you see my previous videos, I've been seeing for years that I've been buying silver, but I still believe that now is a good entry point, which we're going to go into more depth. But we're going to begin with supply and demand. Now, to start this conversation, this is very important. You must understand that silver has special physical and chemical properties. Again, this is very important, so we're going to nerd out for a second. So silver is the most conductive metal. Electricity flows through silver more easily than any other metal. So copper is the second most conductive metals, and copper, of course, is much cheaper than silver. But the thing is that if you're going to go high performance and you need the very best, then you're going to go with silver. If you need to go the cheaper routes or like the good enough routes, then you go with copper, like copper wiring. So gold is the third most conductive metal. So in terms of conductivity, gold is not the best. And of course, it's extremely expensive. So anyways, silver is the benchmark. It's the gold standard when it comes to conductivity. Now, with you having that knowledge, just think of how critical silver is in our world of growing electrification and smart technology. So silver is used in electric vehicles, from the electronics to the battery system to charging components. Now with a regular vehicle, so I'm talking about an internal combustion engine vehicle, there's 15 to 28 grams of silver per vehicle. With a battery electric vehicle, we're talking about 25 to 50 grams of silver per vehicle. So as electric vehicles become more popular, then more silver will be required. So I want you to look at this trend. Electric vehicles are becoming more popular. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And that means that more silver will be required to fuel this trend. And I'm telling you, it's getting even more exciting for silver. Here's why. So I don't know if you're aware, but EV technology is rapidly advancing. Next generation solid state batteries are coming soon. So electric vehicles will have a 600 plus mile range. Now you're talking about a full charge in 9 minutes, and the battery itself, it's going to be safer. There's going to be a reduced fire risk. So solid state batteries will require 1,000 grams of silver per vehicle. So that's 20 times more silver than your current electric vehicle and 40 times more silver than a non-EV. So 1,000 grams is a kilogram of silver, or about 2.2 pounds of silver, or about $1,100 worth of silver per vehicle at today's current rate. So Samsung expects commercial production to begin in 2026, mass production in 2027, and they're going to begin with Lexus EVs in 2027. And it's not just Toyota and Lexus, other EV makers from BYD to Dodge, they're going to be going the way of solid state batteries, and it's just a no-brainer. And as if that's not exciting enough, silver is used in solar panels. So that shouldn't be a surprise, given that you now know how great silver is with electricity. So solar cells produce electric currents when sunlight hits them, right? So silver conducts this current more efficiently than any other metal, minimizing energy loss. So you're talking about a higher efficiency. I mean, you could use a knockoff like copper, but if you're going to go for high performance, then you're going to go with silver. And it's 1.2 grams per solar panel. And just take a look at the growth of solar energy worldwide. The U.S. Energy Information Administration expects solar installations in the U.S. to grow by 26% in 2025. Worldwide, solar installations are expected to grow by 10% in 2025. And of course, more solar panels mean more silver needed. And yes, artificial intelligence and high performance computing requires silver. So you're talking about the advanced circuit boards, that require silver, as well as the AI data centers. And warfare, yes, requires silver. I mean, you're talking about the high performance electronics, from the drones to the missiles to the targeting systems. Okay, so when it comes to cutting edge technology and military applications, I mean, do you think the companies and militaries, they're going to use the very best materials like silver, or are they going to use knockoffs like copper to save a few bucks? I'm guessing that when it comes to high performance computing and warfare, they're going to pay the premium for silver. Now, I want to show you the supply and demand stats from the Silver Institute. So for the past 10 years, the supply of silver has been steady, but I want to show you what's going on. So silver mining production peaked in 2016. It's basically been going downhill since then. So what's happened is that the rich silver deposits, or you can say the low-hanging fruits, have already been depleted over the decades or even over the centuries. So there has been a limited number of new discoveries, basically not enough to replenish the depletion of existing silver mines. So right now, only 25% of silver is coming from silver mining. What's happening is that 75% of silver that's produced, it comes as a byproduct from mining operations from gold or copper or lead or even zinc. So what I'm essentially saying is that they cannot easily ramp up silver production even if they wanted to. But as you can see, the recycling of silver has been picking up. However, the increase in recycling, it's only been good enough to offset the decrease in production, which has allowed the supply of silver to be steady over the past 10 years. But if you look at the numbers, that's not good enough because demand has been increasing. So here's the growth for silver demand. And I want to show you where the growing demand is coming from. So here's the growth in industrial demand. And below what I've outlined, you can see how electronics and solar energy have a growing demand for silver. And I suspect that it's just going to increase with our technological roadmap ahead. So this is the same data for supply and demand, but it's just charted out. As you can see, for 2021, 22, 23, 24, and this year, 2025, there is more demand for silver than there is supply. And when you have more demand than supply, it drives prices high.
Do you want